Welcome, rock stars. What's happening? Especially warm welcome to my man Max. We're gonna have a good session today. Good to see you guys. Audio good, video good. Are you ready to learn, to get inspired, to have a good time? Coach Borino with you. Hold on, let me start this officially here. There you go. Coach Borino with a name and everything. I mean, we're going all out for you guys, making sure these sessions are fun for you. And we're having a good time. We enjoy it because what do? We get together, we talk about, hey, let's get some leads, let's get some sellers, let's get some clients, let's make some money, but let's do it in a cool way. Not a shitty salesy way, being cool, being high status agent, having a good time, but also being effective. Because market is changing, things are changing, conditions are changing. There are many forces trying to get in, stick their hand into your pocket, so you have to stay vigilant. And with that, I want to address an important concern that some of you have raised lately, my man Max, you, one of you, and we're going to address that. Of course, ask questions. I'm going to monitor the chat and monitor the questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer and give you some coaching. So Max is with us. Excellent. Jeremy, good day to you as well, my good sir. Welcome. Maria's checking in from Playa del Carmen, Quintana Roo, Mexico. Wonderful. Kimberly, thanks for joining us. All right, who is here? David is here. Nice to see you. Vicky checking in. Lizette, Tarun, Karen, Kevin, Philip, good afternoon to you as well. Patricia, lots of Luke, good to see you. Philip, Sablano, Brian, Isa, my good peeps, ready to learn some stuff. So let's address the issue. Let's talk about this. Max posted recently, any realtors from Brooklyn, New York, please help. Most likely it's my mindset, but I can't find people to have a nice, meaningful conversation here in Brooklyn, New York. I call expireds every day, at least 50 of them. When I reach someone, 80% of the time they hang up, not even letting me finish my introduction. 20% of the time they say that's not for sale anymore and mostly hang up either. Anyone who works in Brooklyn, New York, please tell me it's my mindset, not Brooklyn people. Thank you. Interesting, right? Is it the people? Is it the geographical location? What's going on? Why is it that some people, Luke, Krista, many others, crush it? Getting listings, getting appointments, helping people, making a lot of money, being successful real estate agents, and some struggle. What's the difference? Now, it would be easy to say, well, it's Brooklyn, it's New York. You know, people are tough. You can't call in Brooklyn. You can't get business in Brooklyn that way. You need to know people. I got to warn you about something before we get into the technology, the techniques and strategies and the tools that I want to share with you today. But here's what you need to know. Be careful. There's a huge difference between opinions and assumptions and facts. Be very careful because we had a bunch of, and some really helpful comments following Max's post, who is very sincere and genuinely wants to make this work. But a lot of it was nothing more than just an opinion. And very often you got to be careful, and hear me on this, guys. Opinions are very often swayed by emotion. Opinions will be very often swayed by emotion. And that emotion is not usually joy and let's share something cool and be excited. It's usually what? Fear. Discomfort. So watch out for that. So now let's address it. It is not the geographical location. It is not. Otherwise, nobody would make money working expired listings. Here's how you know. Go on your MLS, whether it's Brooklyn, whether it's California, whether it's Washington, D.C., it doesn't matter where you are. You're going to find expired listings, obviously. Everybody has them. So you're going to have, so let's say there are 10 homes. Forgive my artistic rendition of homes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Can you see all of them? Are we in shot? Yeah. I'm not going to put roofs on them because these are different types of homes. You with me? All right, so you're going to have 10 of them as an example. Your numbers will be very different, but the concept is the same. If you check the MLS, out of these, some will never go on the market, will never relist. So let's just say in my market it would be about this many, 3. So these never relist. They're done. They're, testing the market in the first place. They were not that motivated to begin with. Plans have changed. Okay? There'll be a second group. These that will list with the same agent. They go back on the market with the same agent. Very often that's a mistake, but that's something you and I know. Sellers don't know that. So what about these? What happens to these? There is usually one that goes on the market right away with somebody else. Doesn't happen a whole lot. What most often happens with these, which is your target right here, is that there's a time gap. From the time they expire here, so this is day one, day expires, some time elapses. This can be a few days, this can be a few weeks, this can be a few months, sometimes even a year or two. That's why working hold expired is such a good strategy. Until they list again. So this is what's going to happen. You're going to have those that don't relist, those that go on the market with the same agent, one that goes on the market immediately, and then there is this group of the ones that take their time. This is your target. This one, occasionally you can get, sometimes you can, sometimes you cannot. This is where the money is. This is the money group. And of course, don't pay attention to the ratios. This is something that would be applicable in my market in 1847. But the groups don't change. It's just the size of the groups. But there's always a nice chunk of expireds, check your MLS, where smart agents are listing. So first, understand there's always an opportunity to help people. There's always an opportunity to list homes. Always, always, always. Here's the catch. And I'm pretty good at this. I'm not tooting my horn, I'm just saying I'm pretty good at talking to people, calling people. If I get on the phone with all 10, even though I'm pretty good at having high status conversations, controlled conversations, confident conversations, I can pretty much guarantee you that almost every single one, if not every single one, will tell me we're not going to relist. Or we already relisted with our agent. There's not going to be a whole lot of them who say, I can't believe, Borino, you're calling. We were just talking about you with my wife. Can you please come over this afternoon? We're ready to list our house. It'd be nice, but that's not realistic. Majority of these will first tell me, go take a hike. Here is, third takeaway from today that I want you to take away. Most of these will tell you no at first. They don't know you. They don't trust you. They have been burned by an agent. They don't trust real estate agents across the board in most cases. You're a stranger calling them on the phone. Why would you expect them to be all super nice and happy? Now, yes, the first thing I would suggest is reset your mindset. This is not going to work with the wrong mindset. So that's the first thing I'm going to put here on the board is mindset, because that's really where it starts. If your expectations are, well, I'm in Brooklyn. People here are tough. Nobody wants to talk on the phone. Everybody is rude. It's a difficult place to do business. Well, first of all, why would you move to an area like that if you're expecting that? That'd be my first question. What is it about you and your expectations to say, well, I know this about Brooklyn. That's where I want to live. I'm like, that makes no sense. I wanted to live in Southern California and lived there for almost 30 years because I always thought Southern California, people kind of lay back, surfing and happy in Hollywood and all that. So ask yourself that. If you know, in your mind, if you believe that in your area there are a bunch of rude, angry, difficult people, why live there unless something resonates with you? You follow my logic? Just food for thought. Mindset number one. My expectation always is people will be nice. Some are interested, some maybe not. Some will relist, some maybe not. But I expect to have at least decent conversations. That's my expectation. Whether it's calling expired listings, visiting for sale by owners, doing open houses, my general assumption is that people are nice. Why do you think I come here almost every day and do these lives with you? Because I believe you're nice people. I believe you want my help. I believe you want to do better. I believe you want to do right by your people. I could not fake this. If I was here just to toot my horn and try to sell you on my systems, you would be gone a long time ago. You would have been gone. You would not show up for these. And yet, a bunch of you do. I mean, we have thousands of views, combined with YouTube, combined with Facebook. A bunch of you enjoy these. Why? Because I genuinely believe you can do this. I believe in you, and I want to help. Go in with the same. Rather than take, contribution. What can I do to contribute? So mindset, good people. an interesting conversation. Start with that. And you can't fake this. It needs to be genuine. It needs to be authentic. You need to find within you what's causing you to believe, because whatever you believe, you're going to prove right. So start with a mindset. 2, and I know this about you, Max, because you're my student. You've been around for a long time. You practice so you understand and know the dialogues. But it is the skill. Talking to strangers is a skill that you need to master. Even with the latest technology, even with the social media, even with the latest tools that we have, and we have a whole bunch, they're awesome. Real estate is still a people business, and you must master the core of it, which is communication. Texting, fantastic. Email, great. All these other resources, we have videos. There comes a point where we need to have a conversation, which is, I believe, where the problem lies too. I mean, it might be a combination, but I've been doing it for a very long time. I've seen things. Skill number 2, accent. This was a big thing for me. Being a foreigner, especially at the beginning, I sounded ridiculous. I had the most you think this accent is funny. You should have heard me back then. It was terrible. So a lot of people hung up on me or didn't engage in a conversation because they just didn't understand. Having a thick accent, having an accent that's hard to understand, especially at the very beginning of the conversation, instantly triggers fight or flight response from our croc brain. It's a psychological reaction. It's instantaneous. So if you, Max, or anybody else who feels like my accent is kind of off, feel like you need to work on it, work on it. It's just another skill. Mastering English, mastering your language so that it is pleasant to hear and people are engaged or want to engage in a conversation with you is big. It's important. Now, the reason I found out, or the way I found out, let me see if I have it here. I usually keep it here. I don't have it here. I got one of those little digital recorders. I usually keep one here handy. One of those little digital recorders. $30. And I listen to myself, I'm like, holy shit, that's terrible. No wonder people don't want to engage with me. At the beginning, when their defense walls and the defense sensors are up, the most sensitive ones, having a good opening with a pleasant tone, good energy, how you open the first 4 seconds of the conversation definitely impacts the results. So 4 seconds, master those, which is a pattern interrupt. You smile, you start a conversation as a conversation, not a pitch. You with me? Now, with all this, this is on the technical side of the actual calls. With that said, I have some bad news for you, my friends. There will be less and less people answering phones, less and less people you will be able to engage on the phones, less and less people who you can have conversations with, whether it's cold calling, circle prospecting, calling expireds, calling old expireds, doing all that stuff. As a stranger being able to connect people, the numbers will go down. I don't know how soon we're going to see it. I mean, the evidence is already there. It's already happening. But I promise you, watch, mark my words, I'm going on record, that in a matter of time, whether it's another 2 years, 3 years, prospecting, cold prospecting on the phone will become ineffective. Already today, you can get an app for your smartphone that will block suspected telemarketers, sales solicitations, all that shit. I mean, 50% of the calls you get today, what are? Robocalls, political causes, the solicitations, sales calls, bill collectors, all that shit. So take that into account. Never, ever in real estate put all your eggs in one basket. What I mean by that is never focus just on one lead source. You should have at least 4, 3 to 4. That's all you need. For a productive, profitable business, 4 good funnels like expired listings for sell by owners, high probability leads, the low-hanging fruit. You're covered, but never just one. That's number 1. And number 2, never rely on just one method of marketing communication. Don't rely just on the phone. So like with expireds, it's a multi-channel approach. And you need to follow it closely in order for it to be effective. Because I never taught you just call. No, that's just step 1. And the purpose of the call is really just to find out if the property has been relisted. That's the number 1 objective. I don't expect to have a 30-minute conversation about their plans and all that. I understand I'm just a stranger. And it's going to take a little bit of time to build a connection and relationship with them. Does it all make sense? Are you with me so far? All right, you got this, guys? This is step 1, part 1, is master this. Get really good at the phone. Now, I said phone is going away. That doesn't mean it's not going to be part of your toolbox. It will be. It's still part of the toolbox. It is just not the toolbox. It is just one of the tools there. Which brings us to the second part. Step 5 is you must, in your prospecting, in your follow-up, in your marketing, always use multi-channel approach. So step 5, multi-channel approach. So in case of expireds and UMAX, you call first. Some you will get hangout, some you will talk to, some you will not. Some will have a conversation, some will not. Some will be open to the idea of relisting, some will not. But it's always a multi-channel approach. First, can you switch times? Can you be the first one to talk to them? Because from my personal experience, in many cases, the expired, even if they're motivated, if I was the 20th person to call them, they will tell me to take a hike very often. All right? Multi-channel means I call. That's step 1. Then, if I have the number, which is a cell number, I text them. If I have the email, I email them. If you use a system like Espresso, Vulcan, very often you will be able to get their email. Not always, and it's not always 100% accurate. Obviously, none of these systems are. But Espresso and Vulcan are pretty good at providing all this information. So I call, I text, I email, then I visit with the package, with the expired package that's part of either the boot camp or the expired plus. I visit them, and then, and this is the important part, I follow up. Because here's what I know. Most of this first tell me no. It's that knee-jerk reaction. It's like you walk into the store. I was at the Under Armour store recently. You know, that white jacket I wear. I bought it a couple of weeks ago. I liked it. I saw it through the window. I wanted to buy it. I walk in. This guy walks up to me, kind of tall, handsome dude, and he says, "Can I help you, sir?" I'm like, "No, thank you. I'm just looking." The fuck did I say that for? I was ready to buy the damn jacket. 10 minutes later, I bought it. You know what I mean? It's a knee-jerk reaction. So their no here often just means not right now, not yet, or variation. We're going to go back to our previous agent. We already have an agent. That's very often just a brush. It means nothing more than just, we don't trust you. So if I know that, I'm going to put them on follow-up. The problem is this. I don't know who is who. You know why? Because the decision these folks make is not a logical decision. We as human beings are not very bright. I know. Somebody gets to tell you the truth. We think we're logical. We think we're rational. We're not. Our decisions are triggered by emotions. And very often that emotion is nothing else but fear. And when our croc brain gets to say so, especially when difficult, complicated, emotional states like this one, selling a house, being attacked by agents, doing all this that it requires to get the property back on the market and move, there are a lot of emotions. So folks who say no will go back. Folks who will go back with the same agent, sometimes they will right away, sometimes they won't. They make emotional decisions, not logical decisions. If you had logical clients and logical sellers, you would present your CMA, you would present logical facts, they would evaluate and they would think about it, they would review it, they would ask you a question or two, and they would say, makes perfect sense, where do we sign? Now here's the question. When was the last time that happened to you? When was the last time you had a seller who says, oh yeah, absolutely. That price makes perfect sense, it's very logical, let's go. It doesn't happen that way. It's nothing but emotions. Same thing here. So if you know that, it's a long-term game. That's important to know. Expireds are not instant listings. It's long-term. Because there are two things that are going to happen on that timeline, which can take days, weeks, or months. Is one, they need to get clarity. They need to crystallize the idea we still want to move in spite of the bad experience we've had. The reality, price, usually. And who are we going to list with? Those are two things that they need to get clear on. You, during your follow-up, will establish both. A sense of hope, it can be done. Other people are doing it. Homes are sold. People are moving. You can too. What plays a role there are two things. Core driving emotion. Why are they selling? And how bad they want to move. That's the emotional element that either puts them in this group or this group. That's it. Not logic. It's not logical decision, it's emotional decision. If they have an emotion, they want to be closer to the family, or they want to show off with their beautiful oceanfront house in Florida, or they want to live near the mountains, they want to have peace of mind, they want to have a quiet neighborhood or safe area, whatever matters to them. It's based on emotion. You, during your follow-up, will start a conversation. So even if they tell me, jump in a lake, take a hike, guess what? I will show up with my little package. We'll have a little conversation if possible. I will introduce myself. I will chat with them. I will break the pattern. I will do a pattern interrupt. Have a little talk, 10, maybe 15 minutes at the most. Maybe they give me a tour of the house, maybe not. I'm not attached. But out of the 50 that Max called, I can safely assume that a chunk of those, now I don't know what the percentage would be, but there's a handful of good listings there if I take these steps. And the biggest one where the conversion will happen is right here. In my case, it took me 5 to 15 follow-up touches before they said, yes, come on down, let's talk. So I knew that. And I knew some will be here, some will be here, some will be here. But if I follow up with 10, some I will get. Some I will convert. Now I still need to work on my communication, I still need to work on my marketing, I still need to work on my follow-up. That all is part of it, and it's essential. Because that's where the conversions happen. That's where the magic happens. Because through repetition, they see my face. They see my name. They hear my voice. I'm starting to break down the barriers, start building connection with them. At first, they're familiar with me. Then they start trusting me. And I can establish a relationship with them and build that connection. That's what it takes. So friends, it is not about the area. When I hear an agent tell me, and I've had tens of thousands of you I've had a chance to privilege to talk to and train and teach you. When they start with, well, you don't understand, my area is different. Do you have people who need to sell? Will they go back on the market? Review the statistics. Go back through your MLS, pull those that expired 2, 3, 4 months ago, and what happened? Well, yes, some of them are back with a different agent. There is no magical answer, guys. There is no other secret way of doing it. The agents who end up getting a listing get them because the client, the prospect, likes them, trusts them the most. That's it. And this is the way you're going to build that trust and build that connection. Is it easy? No. Is it fast? No. Is it comfortable? No. But boy, is it profitable. Because think about it. If somebody's going to get those listings, somebody's going to earn those commissions, why not you? Why not provide a better service than most of the agents out there? You guys are rock stars. You're different. You protect your client's best interest before you put your commissions in front of that. You care about your prospects. You care about your clients. You care about your listings. You want to do right by your clients. Yes, you want to get paid. But in the right sequence. Let me see first if I can help. Let's see what you're trying to do. Let me understand you first. Then we'll talk about me, and then we'll talk about the process. That's how you win. Not attached to the outcome, from contribution, high status communication. Now, one last thing I'm going to give you, and this is a technique. We're going tactical now. Don't try to be too nice. It was one of the biggest mistakes that I kept making for a long time. I thought, well, as long as I'm nice, and as long as people like me, and as long as I suck up to them, and I compliment them, and I talk to them, I'm going to get more business. I was dead wrong. Now, I'm not saying be aggressive, be an asshole, be difficult, or be confrontational. No. Just know your value. I always thought I'm the best thing that happened to the seller. With all the shysters and all the people out there, they will just gun for the commission and don't really care about the client or care just enough to make a buck. They're better off with me. And I'm willing to go to the battle. I'm willing to go the extra mile. I'm willing to do what it takes to win them as a client. Without being pushy, salesy, needy, desperate, aggressive, just passionate, confident, high status. That, my friends, is how you do it. That is the secret. Those are the things you got to do. Nobody ever said real estate is easy. Running your own business is not easy. You can own a dry cleaner, it's going to be hard. You can run a bookstore, a coffee shop, or a restaurant, it's going to be hard. You can work 9 to 5 at some stupid cubicle, it's going to be hard. You can be broke, it's going to be hard. You can make a lot of money, it's going to be hard. Pick your heart. This is the easiest way to get listings. High probability leads like FSBOs, expired listings, referrals, open houses, those are all easy. And they're cheap. You don't have to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars in direct mail, marketing, advertising, Facebook, and any of that. It's a good way to do it. You just have to master it. It requires a skill. It requires persistence. And it requires a few systems in place. Yeah? All right. Is that helpful? All right. Let's see what you say. Maxim says, door knocking, tried it as well. Most of the people say, stop coming and bother us. How many times should we tell you we don't sell or buy anything? It's possible, Max. Some will not. Remember, some will be here. But look at the stats. Don't get swayed by emotion. Look at the facts. The facts are, I guarantee you, those that said today, we don't want to sell, stop bothering us, will be back on the market. Some will go back. Some will go back. Who will they list with? If you stop, if you quit, you have 100% chance of not getting it. Zero chance. Zero chance of getting that listing if you quit. But if you keep trying, if you follow up, if you send them something once in a while, if you text them something once in a while, if you just follow the process, you have the whole system. Some will say, you know what, let's talk. I like your persistence. And it does take persistence. Okay? Max C, this is where you're getting stuck, my friend. I agree, 100% expired homes get listed here in Brooklyn. I just can't find out how it's done. Nobody's willing to share their approach here in Brooklyn. Nobody wants competition. And I call bullshit. This is how it's done. What do you think is there? Sending pigeons? Sending smoke signals? There's no other secret. It is all about building trust and connection and communication. How can you do that? Do you still believe that there is a magic postcard or a magic ad you're going to put on Facebook or magic something, Max? That's why you're getting stuck. You still believe that there's got to be something else about it, that there is an agent out there who knows something you don't. And I'm telling you, this is how it's done. Those agents who are getting the expired listings, they call them, they text them, they usually use some or all of these methods, and then they follow up. That's the whole secret. That's it, my friend. And the reason you struggle so much and the reason you keep getting stuck, because we had this conversation months ago, I told you the same thing. This is the secret. This is how it's done. This is how the rock stars do it. And some list a boatload of them. Talk to my man Luke. Watch that video with him. Now you will say Brooklyn is different. Again, you're stuck. There's no evidence to support it other than your mindset. Be very careful, because that can hold you stuck for a very long time until you reach a point where it says this doesn't work. Nay, nay, nay. Make sense? Are you sure that pigeons don't help? Try it. I am willing to experiment. Thank you, Borino. Good advice as always. Now, I'm not trying to beat up on you, of course you know. I'm here to help you. But I want to make sure you hear me. Because you're still seeking something out there. You still believe that it's out there. And I'm saying it's not out there. You already have all the answers and all the tools. You just need to put it together. Because if we start breaking it apart, I guarantee we would uncover that you're skipping steps or not doing it the way you're supposed to. Be honest. You know what I mean? And not just you, Max, but everybody. If you come to me and you say, well, I'm using the Expired Plus, but it's not working. Why? Help me. It's broken. Are you doing it this way? Do you call? Do you use the same dialogue I taught you? Not reciting scripts, but having a pleasant, high-status conversation. Are you in a good mindset? Do you expect good people? Do you expect good conversations? Do you use the multi-channel approach? Do you call? Do you text? Do you email? And do you repeat it? Do you call back? And if I don't believe that out of 50 people, everybody said, no, get lost. Unless you're calling like you're the agent number 50, be the first one. Be at the beginning. Make it easy on yourself. Go visit them first. Because ask yourself this. If you have something they want, if you have a solution to their problem, which is sell the house, get a good price for it, live somewhere else. If you have the solution to it, if you trust yourself that you know how you can deliver that service, why would they say no? The only reason they would say no at first is because they don't trust you. So the first order of business is to build that trust. And it doesn't need to take too long. Sometimes it does. It just depends who these people are and what they do. Yeah? Is that helpful? All right. Okay. Rafael. Yep. And it has happened to me. Visited and expired. They said they were not selling. Looked it up a couple of weeks ago, and it's relisted and with a different agent. Now, how do you think that happened, Rafael? The different agent, another agent, went, talked to the seller. The seller says, no, we're not selling. Raphael, now pay attention. The other agent heard it, but knew statistically these people will go back because I know these groups. So I'm just going to keep in touch for a little while. Send them a little thank you card. Send them a little text. Follow up with them. Drop off the package. Impress them a little. Deliver something that helps you stand out, which is the expired package will do. Be remembered. And then follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Remember, it took me 5 to 15. So you giving up after first conversation is ludicrous. It's seldom. I don't even remember how many, very few listings I listed after the first conversation. We'll say, we like you, and that accent is awesome. Come on in. It never happened that way. Hardly ever. I mean, occasionally, there were few, but not many. Most of the time it was no thank you, call back, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you. Well, you know, how much is the house around the corner? Ah. No, we're not ready, but thanks for the call. Follow up, follow up, follow up. You know, maybe, well, what do you think we could get for it? Bingo. But it takes time. You got to be patient. But here's the thing. If you keep stuffing the pipe, new leads coming in, you keep going, they start converting here. You just keep feeding new ones here. Sooner or later, they start converting. You just keep going. Yeah? Yeah, there is no one and done. Exactly. That's exactly right. Carlos, you're absolutely right. There is not one and done. Persistent does pay. Absolutely. And it's not just with expireds, guys. This is for all the leads out there. You think internet leads are any easier? For sell by owners, it takes time. Open house leads takes time. No matter what kind of marketing or prospecting you're going to do, you're going to end up with these. Some who will, some who won't. Some who are ready almost now, you know, some. Here's the trouble though. Those who are usually ready now already have a relationship with an agent who had started with a good follow-up a while back. Now, what I'm teaching is how you can be that agent. Now, occasionally you can break these. There is a way to do that. It's just a lot of work and it's not very effective because if they have a bond and trust with an agent, you coming in would have to really deliver and that other agent would be really kind of on the edge to begin with. Now, sometimes that can be done. But if it doesn't happen, just keep going. Here's the beautiful part about all the stuff I teach you. There will be always more. There'll be more expireds, there'll be more for sale by owners. There will be always somebody who needs your help. There will always be somebody who says, we need a good agent. Make sense? You can be that agent. All right. Zana, what's happening, Zana? She says, hello, Borino. From Clearwater, Florida, thank you for doing this for us. Agents like me really need your coaching, always at a good motivation, a lot of positive energy after watching your videos. Great, that's good to hear, and you need that. Hi there. Awesome challenges. Keep the good intentions of CDE, says Rain. Good. More new messages. Here we go. Yes, Max, it really comes down to mindset. Mindset is the foundation of it all, guys. Mindset, think about it like the operating system in your phone. If the phone has a screwed up operating system, it will start freezing, it will mess you up, the connection will be dropping, no matter how fancy, how awesome the apps are you're running on it. If the core system is busted, just like on your computer, if the operating system, whether it's Mac, iOS, or Windows, there's a glitch, there's a bug, it's not going to work, no matter how beautiful, powerful, phenomenal applications or programs you're running on it. That's your mindset. That's the core. That's what's operating. Because what happens is if your mindset is off, it starts pulling you towards what you believe and what you expect and pushing you away from all the other stuff. That's how it works. What you believe, what you focus on, what you expect. That's the core. That's the core. That's why I wrote the whole damn book about it, The Money Mindset. Because that's what made me homeless. That's what screwed me up in the first place. It wasn't hard work. It wasn't the tools. It wasn't anything else. It was up here in my noggin. And I figured out ways to screw things up. And I figured a way to sabotage myself and be broke. Because that was my mindset. Now, you may not be aware of it. You may not appreciate it, understand it. But here's how you test it. What is the balance in your checking account right now? Think about that question. what is the balance in your personal checking account right now? How much money can you pull out of your checking account right now? Some of you are going, oh fuck, right? That is the true test of your mindset, because what you have in your bank account is the representation of your beliefs. Ah, what a thought. How much money you have right now, liquid cash you can pull without your rent check or your mortgage payment bouncing, is the true reflection of your beliefs about money. So you working harder, you working more hours, you being more aggressive, or doing any of that stuff, or searching for the magic answer is not really the core problem. It is the programming in your mind, the money programming in your mind. That's what this book is all about, friends. Wrote it specifically for real estate, specifically for mindset, because there wasn't a book like that. There are great books on mindset, there are great books on real estate, but not like this one. Not from a guy who was homeless as a result. So I know a thing or two about struggle, and I know a thing or two about getting out of that mess. Oh, how do you get it? You join the path. You'll get it. It's part of the path. Right there. GoBorino.com is the URL. So that's the answer. That's really the answer, guys. Fix that first. Fix this second. Keep going. It's a skill. This is a skill. This is a set of skills. Set of skills to communicate, set of skills to be persistent, set of skills to have a face-to-face conversation with people, following up on the phone, following up with video, following up with texts, with emails. All that is part of the package. That's how the rock stars do it. That's it. You can be one of them. There is no reason every single one of you, including you, Max, can't do this. Other people are doing it. How are they any different? What's the difference? Mindset, systems, persistence. Mindset, action, systems. That's the secret. All right, guys? Was this helpful? All right. Of course you're going to get discouraged. Maxine says, I'm trying and trying, but after a while with no results, I get discouraged. I totally understand that. And until you reach a point where just fuck it, this doesn't work, I quit. Which is logical. Except the logic is flawed. You know what I mean? So my recommendation is take a little time off. Focus on something very different. Reset. Because the harder you're going to try now, the less likely it's going to work. Because now you're pushing. Now you're trying to do it with force. And the sense of desperation only makes things worse, speaking from experience. So do something completely different. There are 40 ways you can make money in real estate. Expires is just one of them. Focus on other funnels. Do other stuff. Build your sphere of influence. Focus on referrals. Do open houses. Maybe do Facebook advertising. Go after some FSBOs. Drop this for a while. Just take a break. Reset. And then come back. But reset this first and foremost. All right, friends. Time to take the kiddos to fencing. They have a fencing class, and my daughter has a dance class. So we're going to wrap up. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate it. Another live tomorrow, noon, the big one, the noon one. Come ask questions. Come ask for help. I'm here to help. I want to make sure this works for you. I want to make sure you're successful. I want to make sure you feel good and make money. All right? So I appreciate every single one of you being here today. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Coach Borino signing off. Let's go get him. Ciao. Bye, everybody.